and welcome to a new vlog. It's the last vlog for July. I have about 2 minutes to talk to you before I need to run for work. Not run, but need to catch my bus. I brought my camera upstairs with me and everything because I want to film myself making breakfast and be cozy in the morning. But then the breakfast was such a fail. Like, I make the same thing every day, but this was the most horrible breakfast I ever had, and I'm really sad, and it feels like, honestly, it destroyed my whole day. But I want to tell you what I am listening to before I leave, because I had to start an audio. If you watched the last vlog, I have put on hold, has not come in yet, or like the ones I was planning to read, so I had to just pick something else. I picked something that is in, I will show you. Vampire Academy is not counted in that. That's my TBR in theory. But all these others here, and there's a box here because I'm lazy to clean up, and they have fallen over, is the piles that I'm supposed to read so I can unhaul, and I was supposed to finish them in July. This is the last vlog of July, and I'm definitely not finishing them before the month is over, but I would try my best to read as many as possible. So where's the one I just started on audio? Is all the way under here. Let's see. It's a little dig. Ooh. Now I actually covered over another book I was going to show you, but the one I started was The Call by Peter O'Gillen. It is about these teens that can get this call and then they're hunted down by like these creatures. It's kind of like a bit Hunger Games-y at a certain age, and they go to this college to be able to fight them because they can't survive, but they need to really fight them to do so. And yeah, it's kind of about that so far. I listened to like 20% of the audio this morning because it's very short, and I guess I'm going to assume they're going to find out like how to not have this happen, etc. Now I'm stressed out because I need to go and take my bus, but I don't know what I'm going to read yet, like with my eyeballs. It will be something in the piles, but I will decide that later, because the one that I'm supposed to read next is the last one in the trilogy, but I can't borrow that, and if I'm going to sneak read a bit at work. No, it's very quiet right now, so I'm having some downtime, but then I don't bother bringing the book. So yeah, I need to figure it out when I get there. I'm gonna go now. See you soon, later. Hello. It is the next morning, even though it looks like I am the exact same person with the exact same clothes, but here we are. I have home office today for the first time in my life, and it's very chill, but the problem is that there's not that much to do, so I'm just like doing some other stuff, and I'm checking the thing. First time home office. It's such a chill vibe. I didn't need to eat like breakfast in panic, because then I can kind of eat when I need to. It's fine. But reading updates, I didn't read any yesterday. I did read My Better Pages in Wrath. I think Better Be Friend finished it last night, so I'm going to finish that today. So the live show is on Sunday. Today is Friday, so that's going to be a good time. So I'll finish that. My bookmark is all the way in the beginning because I didn't read it in this. I borrowed it at the library, so I didn't need to carry it around. Very flexible. And then I did start my next audio, which I talked about yesterday, right? I did start The Call. I didn't finish it, but I came further into it. I found out that there is a sequel. I'm very annoyed at it because I thought it was a standalone. It was one book and I took rid of it, but now I need to read one more or like listen to the second one as well. And I was just like, ugh. But fine. So far it's fine. I'm not like seeing that it's amazing or anything like that. But again, they're being hunted at a certain point. They're going to the school to try to survive this hunt. And they've been hunted by I couldn't say it yesterday. I don't think Shida. And now Shida can be pronounced in several ways. In modern Ireland, we usually say she as in Banshee, which means a fairy woman. Does that mean that it is like Ireland setting? It should be, I think. Either way, and then I didn't start anything, but my plans is to read some today, obviously. I did edit a video that was really long yesterday. I actually prioritized editing, which is why I haven't edited. That's why I'm so behind on editing in general. Why I hadn't edited a single one of these vlogs I've been doing. But obviously at the time when you see this, I have already edited the other ones because, well, else you wouldn't see this one. But it's because it takes a lot of time. And I have so many limited hours when I get home. And then I want to actually do my reading. So yesterday I didn't get to do my reading because I did my editing. It's a whole thing. But I am thinking I would do the next Scott Westerfall, which I did in the last vlog it will be. Which is Nexus. The last one in this superhero thing trilogy. It will be fine, I think. I also need to really start The Stone of Farewell, which is the next in, what's it called? Remember Sarah Thorne, the read-along. The live show is like the first week of August. I do have like a couple of days, but as you see, it's very thick, so I should read some of that every day. But now that I finished Wrath, that should be like some kind of daily goal in there. I decided on my next read from my beautiful piles that are at this point just haunting me, and I just want to be done with them because I'm annoyed at them. But I think I'm going to read Flawed by Cecilia Urn. This is another YA Dystopia duology. I do have the sequel as well, of course I do. And I got this in like a old oak crate a long time ago when I subscribed to them. And I realized it's the author of Love Rosie, and I actually enjoyed that a lot. Oh my god. I have like a, is it like, it's a tattoo. It's lying inside the book. Well, I can keep that if I want to have an F on me for fail. I think it has to do with like beauty and stuff. I think it was going to remind me of Uglies. And hope maybe I will enjoy it. But yeah, I can't read. I remember I don't have them. I can't borrow them because I tried to borrow them when I was on holiday and I wasn't available in the libraries I have in Libby. So I had to wait to read them until I got home. And since it's weekend, I'm not going out much. I'm going to be inside. So then I might as well read this now when like I'm home and have to read. I can't read physical because when I'm out, I hate it. Even generally, I just hate reading physically. I just want to read on my e-reader forever. Apparently that's who I become. Because then I need to take the light on and I need to sit in a certain position under the light to see. And I just want to lie in the however I want without light. That's what I enjoy. But yeah, so now you know kind of my reading plans. I will try to listen to some to call today. But we shall see. I don't know if I will read that much today, but we shall see again. I also got, I'll show you. I don't remember if I showed you in this vlog that I got Dragon Republic. Did I? Because it was lying in my room and then I felt like I was going to show you it every night and then I never showed you. But I got this not this week. Last week, and I don't remember if I showed you, but if I did, it's in the last vlog, and if I didn't, then you get to see it again. It's beautiful, stunning. The second like collector's edition, and obviously I needed it because it's my absolute favorite series, but also it's generally really pretty editions, so I'm not mad about it. But now I have just another set. I'm standing by my Quag shelf as well, so here you can see all my bubbles. All my Poppy War, and then Yellow Face is further down. I also yesterday got Burrow Bones in Midnight Song Wheel again. I do believe I opened this in early July vlog, and it was kind of damaged. So they sent me a new one, and now I have two. They could have just sent me the dust jacket, but yeah, I will probably just give the spare copy to Erica, because I don't need to. But yeah, again, very pretty, and now this is not damaged. And I still haven't read it, but I hopeful to listen to it with Erica soon at a point. Now I'm gonna go into the living room and be there and work, because now I worked here in my room, but there I have all my food and drinks and stuff. Even though theoretically I could sit in my office, but I was just like, ew, I want to sit in a couch and work. Who's gonna stop me? No one. Let's go. Hello. It is Saturday. I was going to say morning, but it's more afternoon. It's like soon 3. And I'm in the middle of Patreon Readathon. We're having our summer readathon, so we're doing sprints all day and tomorrow. Yesterday I did finish Wrath, which I obviously didn't bring in with me here, but it was a good time. We have the live show for that tomorrow. My thoughts is that this time around I rated it 4 instead of a 3 or whatever I rated it last time. I definitely enjoyed the series overall more because I was keeping up with the characters and caring for them, etc. That said, I don't think it's like a favorite series. I thoroughly enjoyed it and was very entertained by it, and I had like overall, as I said, a good time with it, and I wanted to see what was going to happen next. I just feel like it missed something for me in the series where I felt like it ends up as a fave. I feel like it became in a way very predictable. Like it was very predictable where it would go. Like these characters are evil, they're definitely going to be stopped. These characters are good, etc. And it was never like more nuisance that I wanted to the story, where like I wanted more from certain characters. I talked to about this with my friend who I was brother reading it with, like I wanted this and this to happen, this and this to happen, and I noticed I rewrote a lot of the things because I just wanted more. That doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it, it just means like I felt for me that it needed more nuance for me to like really love it. even though I gave it a 4, overall I enjoyed it much more this time I read it. I'm very excited for the next series, which I haven't read before, and see how that compares to this one. And all like the different things I want to happen and different thoughts, etc. for certain things. Obviously, I will share spoilery in the live show tomorrow and not in this vlog where I will spoil you. But overall, had a good time with the series, and I ended up reading not the first one. I think I rated a 3, but I do think, and the second was 3.5, and then the third and fourth now has been 4s. So all my ratings went up, and I had an overall better time. Then I could read another manga, so I read Comic and Communicate once again about Tomoto Oda. This is volume 20. We are still doing the storyline, which I don't enjoy, even though I enjoy the characters and everything. We call me who has a communication disorder, and then she's just trying to get 100 friends and live her life. But yeah, overall very enjoyable, serious, and I think I own up to volume 28, which is around on my list, so I soon have to buy more. But I think it's only 36 copies. 36 volumes, I mean, or is it 38? I think it might be 38. So I'm missing 10, which is granted not that bad. And we also listened on Stolen Air yesterday, which I obviously didn't bring with me either. I have physical copies of these books. They're just like, my books are everywhere, okay? Which was extremely boring. I'm so sad because I really thoroughly enjoy and love Cruel Prince. At least like the first one. It's a really, really solid book for me, and like the overall like Jude and Carden as characters are great. Here we follow another character, but we're in the same world. And I just felt like it was so pointless. I didn't see the point of this book. It was so boring. And that is not something I thought I would say about it, because I knew it was in the same world. We follow one of the characters that are obviously in the last book. And I was curious to see like what more Solar Black is going to do in Elfheim. I can't say it. I can't even say that I can't say it. But she didn't do anything with it. She just like mentioned stuff to fan service, and then we went on this journey that was very, very pointless and boring. And like the plot twists and betrayals, I was just like, seriously? It was extremely boring. And I listened to all of Cruel Prince with Erica, and we had thoroughly a good time with the whole series. So we were like curious and kind of excited for this, because Solar Black writes really well. And we were so bored. Erica didn't like it at all and gave it 1 star. I gave it 2. And obviously we're going to listen to, what's it called? The Prisoner's Throne, because that's the last one. And like I know there's coming another Jude and Carden book, because Solar Black has that. So we're going to read that as well. But like, so that was a very big disappointment. I'm very sad about that. Don't want to think about that. And now this morning, as we started this readathon, that's when I read Nexus, because I didn't read more yesterday. This is the last in the series that I read in the last vlog, I think, where we have these people with powers that are called serials, and now they're escaping from the authorities, and it was extremely boring as well. I'm very tired of reading boring books at this point, but that is just life. It was very long for no reason. And I gave it like a 2, because I don't think it deserves a 1 because I didn't hate it. I was just very bored and I didn't care for a single thing. But now at least I'm done with that series and I can get rid of it. I also like dropped it on the floor by accident, because I had my books on bear, as you can see. And then it fell down, and then, yeah. I also went out to get a book today, which is Helga Flatland's newest one, which is called So You Vi Så, which I would roughly translate to So That's How We Do It, in a way, or like that's how we do things, or that is how we do something. And Helga Flatland is a contemporary Norwegian author who is like my favorite contemporary Norwegian author. I found out about this book this week. It came out this week, and I went out to get it today. And I obviously haven't read it yet, and I didn't read the synopsis because I don't need to read it. I really want to read it now, because like I feel like, oh my god, fresh new book, and I want to read it now. But I'm going to be strong and see, because I read Norwegian very slowly for some reason, because I read much faster in English. So that will take me, I think, much longer. And I want to try to at least read 3 books today and 3 books tomorrow. But if I read 3 books fast today, maybe that's my reward. I don't know. But my next is, as I mentioned yesterday, Flawed by Cecilia Aaron. I found out I can get this after all. It's just a sequel I can't get. So I'm going to read this. I do believe, again, it's like YA Dystopia duology. I don't think it's going to be particularly great, but we shall see. And I'm going to read it now, so I'll let you know how it goes. I'm about to film a haul, because I have 3 puzzle books right beside me, if I can show you actually. Wait, like here, all of these piles of books. I started and finished Flawed and Perfect, which was this duology by Cecilia Aaron. And the world we are in, which is a YA Dystopia ideology, is that if you do something wrong in society, you get this brand, which is like an F that you're flawed. Humble, if you lie, you get a brand on your tongue that everyone, when you speak, can see that you're flawed. Or like if you steal, you get like an F on your hand to show that you're a stealer. If you're disloyal, you can get it on your heart. And a character stands up for this old flawed dude on the bus that is having this coughing fit, and then her whole life is upside down, and she is branded flawed. It's not really a spoiler because like what else is the book is going to be about? And I realized the whole plot is basically racism. Like the whole plot is the racial society and system that existed before. There is still racism to this day, but the systematic racism that still exists but is more hidden. But the systematic racism that was more obvious before, this is basically it. And like how like Jews were treated on the Second World War, and also some places till this day. All yada yada yada. Why dystopia, or dystopia in general, is usually a commentary on the world we live in. And this definitely is. And I did not think that the elements necessarily were bad because of this. Like, I think like it clearly showed how the flawed were treated, and the whole point is that they were treated as less than human, and that they should not have been treated like this to begin with, that they shouldn't have this system to begin with. But it's very like obvious, like you know what's wrong. And a main character has been living in this society as like a perfect all her life, and then suddenly one day she just decides to break the rules. And that is what I didn't get. Like I didn't get her motivation in a way, because she was living in the perfect life. And obviously, usually in a series like this, you need to have the main character realize that the system is wrong. And that's very normal. But I just felt like it came so sudden. I didn't really realize or like understand her, because she was just suddenly like, I need to help this dude. And I guess like in her head, she didn't like, she wasn't going to face consequences maybe. But at the same time, I felt like everyone around her was like, don't do this, and she just did it anyway, which is obviously is a good thing she did. I'm not gonna like complain. It's more like, as her character has been living this privileged, nice life her whole life, where did it come from that she was suddenly gonna help this dude? And I was missing like a thing there maybe. I thought it would be more interesting if like she didn't think she deserved to be flawed, and then she realized that like the flawed people are just literally people who do ordinary mistakes. And it was all about like taking down the system, but the way they took it down, I was just like, what? But I liked some parts of the story actually. Like it was finely written, and then I enjoyed like that her family was very supportive, which I feel like missing a lot in why in general, where, like there's non-existent family, at least like in dystopia and stuff. Family was very like there, and I was very surprised by it, and I honestly like that the most of the story. The romance, especially like here, how it evolved, I was weird. And then like the well, it kind of goes where you think it would go. It's very much like predictable and doesn't really give anything new, and like you know where it's going to go from the get-go. It doesn't really give you any surprises, but it was still, I guess it is supposed to be interesting to see her realize this in the world. But the way the book handled her realizing all of this, it was just like could have been done much better. So I gave this a tentative 3, but 2.5, and this a 2. And while the books are very cool actually, like it has like this nice feel to them, and I own them for many years, I will still unhaul them, and it makes me a bit like oh. Then I could read Witch, which was my next like graphic novel manga after I read 3 books or 4 books, and I am on volume 7. I love them so much, my childhood, and I have all the volumes. I'm gonna read through them, they're on my list. And it was very much enjoyable. They did go on a trip on this one. Excited to see what's going to happen next. Then, as you saw, we listened to some audio after that. We listened to 2 audios. I don't know how, but they were very short. So we listened to Don't Stop by Lauren Biel, I think. This was really, 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 really dark and really, really, really weird. We were like, what are we listening to? But we kind of just were listening to those kind of like dark romances for funsies, but a lot of them we've been listening to lately haven't been fun. This was fun, but absolutely terrible. It follows this man who was very disturbed, and he picks up this woman who is hitchhiking, and then she has like gone through a lot of trauma because of hitchhiking, and then together they decide to go together as a couple. He does things to her that is very much not okay before, and that is okay apparently for her, but not that any sexual assault is okay ever. But I just didn't understand her as a character. Not that I was trying to understand it in this scenario, because it's just like, why did you think this was okay? And the other things were not okay. Not that either was okay, but it's just like, it did make sense. The book overall is very dark. We have dead penises, that's all I got to say, that are being used. And I was just like, oh, and then I literally was laughing because it's like, it's so over the top, and obviously it is terrible in the way we live, obviously, in this world. But then you need some dark humor as well, I think, which is what I have. So we were laughing, and it was kind of like, it was fun, but not like I want any of this to happen. Obviously, I'm not defending any of it, but it was funny because it was just so over the top, ridiculous. Like, what has been written? What am I listening to? And there was sound effects like grunting and moaning and door slamming, and they were more disturbing than anything else because, like, really, it was just like, what is that sound? Because I thought it was like not an audio the whole time. So that was the thing. I can't even rate it, honestly, because like it is terrible. So it deserves a 1. But I laughed, and I was like, I wasn't bored because like I've been bored in a lot of the other things we've been listening to, and this didn't bore me at all. I was wide awake because that was a wild time. But yeah, we're gonna take a break from some dark romances now. We've been listening to, I feel like, too many this month. I feel like did we listen to 2 or 3? 2 or 3 is too many, and we're gonna listen to something good now. But then we did listen to something good right after. We read Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Sean McGuire. This is for my Patreon read along, and I read book 1 earlier this month as well, but that I was supposed to read last month, and then we had a live show, and we had a live show earlier in August, I believe. So I just read it now as we like had typed audio because Erica wants to read them as well. She had read one before, and so had I, but I read a lot of them before, so this was a reread for me. This is Jack and Jill's book, and I very much love this. I remember the first time I read it, I was just like, oh, it's a prequel, so we know what's gonna happen next. But I don't think I truly appreciated Jack and Jill's story as like these twins that are set into these roles and breaking out of them, and like the world they come in, like this Frankenstein vampiric gothic world, and it's really cool visualized. And the way it was read, this was read by Sean McGuire. I actually don't know if the last one was. I can't remember, even though I just listened to it. But this one was read by the author, and it was great listening to the author read it. And it's like, it reads like a dark fairy tale, even though it's not a fairy tale by any means, but it's like a dark, you normally have like a big like fairy tale book. It reads like that, it's written like that, it's written so well and explores so many things in the book. And I loved it. I love this much more than like the first time I read it. I gave it 4 the first time. I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't a 5-star read. But now it was a 5-star read for me. As a reread, like I'm rounding it, I think up to 5 is like 4.5, but I rounded up to 5, and I'm very happy that I reread it. Very excited to discuss it in live. Honestly, the live will probably in my Patreon be before this vlog ever is shown in the light of day. That is all the things I read. I'm gonna read more things, obviously, because it's the second day for our readathon, which is starting in like 2 hours or something. But now I'm gonna film a video, and then, oh, I forgot to show you my piles. Look, I can turn you. This is my piles now. That is my piles left. I after cleaned a bit. I took out some things I don't want to read. There's very little left. So, oh, there is hope, I think. Oh, this is better. There is hope. So, yeah, we'll update you soon. I'm sitting here crying off the stupid show. Not stupid. I love it. But I didn't update you yesterday after, like, I read in the readathon, and now I'm going to go to bed. I'm too tired to do it now. I read some today too. So hopefully I'll remember to update you of everything I read yesterday and today tomorrow. But good night. I love Business Proposal. I'm up later than I should to watch 2 episodes, but now I need to go to bed. What is up with my banks? Good night. So today I actually have some minutes before I need to leave for work, so we can talk about Sunday. I did finish different things. So I decided to read the sequels to Ace of Spades by Amanda Foody. The series is called, oh my god, what is it called? The Grand Game. I forgot. But I read book 2, which is King of Fools, and I read book 3, which is Queen of Waltz. This is what I read on Sunday, and I didn't enjoy it all. I didn't enjoy this one when I first read it, which is why I only owned the first one. And at that time, you know, I was supposed to buy the rest and own the rest forever and blah 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 and all that weird shit that Sandra had decided to in the past. But I bought both. I read them. I was not interested at all in any of the characters. I don't think that it was a like story that I was engaged in or anything. That I say the same thing about these things that I don't like that much. But I wanted to see, obviously this is why I finished the series. I wanted to see if there were elements that took me by surprise, that lured me in again, because that has happened where I wasn't interested in the first book and then I read the sequels and then I suddenly start loving it. Like, it has happened, and I have this feeling in my bones that it will happen again. I don't want to miss out. But this was clearly did not happen. I gave this a 2 at a time. I gave 2 and 3 to not 2 stars, but to 1 star, so 1 star each. And I can very clearly unhaul this. And I also read Out of the Burning City by Amanda Foody, which I thought I honestly would enjoy. I think it is the same author. It's at least Amanda, and I'm pretty sure it is Amanda Foody. And I thought I would love that, but I didn't like that at all either. And I thought I would love that for years. And that one is already in my unhaul pile. Then, where is this book? I read The Storm, which was the sequel to The Rain, and I already read The Rain previously, obviously, and I read The Storm to finish this duology up so that I could unhaul it. The Storm, or The Rain, or whatever, it is a duology, follows this world, this dystopia world, where rainwater is dangerous, and like if you get it on you, etc., you die, so obviously people starve thirsting, and a lot of people die before they realize this. And then we have this young girl that goes around and needs to survive. I don't understand how she survived, because she was honestly an idiot. And I'm just like, how did you even manage to survive? I don't know. The Rain, one of the biggest criticisms to it is that our main character feels very young. Like she feels very like 13, 14, kind of very young and whiny. And obviously like I think personally that it was interesting, because like I feel like she should feel young. She has been young in this world. Like she's not like Katniss Everdeen that had to grow up really early. She lived a perfectly normal and spoiled life before all of this happened, so I think natural that she feels young. But that is kind of, she's still whiny and annoying. And then in the second book I was just like, it felt like a completely different book. It might have been because it's been a little while since I read The Rain, but it just felt like we were in a different story. I was like, who are you? Who are you? What is going on right now? And then I just felt it didn't go anywhere. Like the second book was just, the first book at least had some intriguing parts, but the second book was absolutely like in pieces. I honestly wish that it would have been a standalone, like, because I semi-enjoyed The Rain. I think I gave it a 2, but the second one got a 1 because I was just like, what was this? Who are we? It felt like a completely different series, but that might have been me as well. Then I had read 3 books and I could read a manga. So I then read My Dress Up Darling Volume 13, which I'm not unhauling, obviously, but this follows this boy and this girl, and he makes cosplays for her, and they are being super cute. This was really cute. It has been a bit ups and downs for me in the series, but this one I really enjoyed. So I had a great time with this. Then yesterday, I did also finish my audio, which was The Call by Peter O'Gillian. So it's like 3 minutes. You are running from these creatures that now I have mentioned many times, but I still not can pronounce. Shida? We are like in this world where like kids go to school to try to survive them, because obviously they want the kids to survive, because else there's no future, obviously. And then we have different characters that needs to fight them. And then I realized there was a sequel, and I started that this morning, but there was parts of this that I found intriguing, but I overall just found the world really weird, and just like how it was set up. I was just like, what? And then I just like wasn't engaged in any of the characters. And this is also interesting because lately I'm enjoying what I've been reading on audio, or be more engaged in what I read in audio in a different way than if I read with my eyeballs. But this one just did not engage me at all. And my enjoyment wasn't really high. I was very much like not there. We were just these different teens, and then it was just like weird kissing drama, and it was a bit weird, even though I find the intrigue of like them living in the fear and then having to survive, and then all of them died, so it was maybe like Hunger Games-ish at a point, but then it wasn't. And then in The Call, which is the sequel that I just started, we continue that, and we should see if the world manages to make a deal maybe with these creatures or something. Yesterday, Erica was a cutie. I went out and bought me food and a manga, which is Taco P's Original Sin. This is volume 1 and 2 in one volume, so it's like the only volume as well. I think it's very sad, and then an anime came, if not recently, then like it came later, and then that's why Erica wanted me to read it. So she just went out and bought it. This is probably going to be my next manga now, because this is just like one thing. It doesn't like add anything to my list or anything. But she was being such a cutie and really surprised me yesterday. Yeah, I might read this when I read my next manga. So yeah, new know my current audio. And then I did also finish another book yesterday, which was, what's it called? Genesis. These titles, man. Now I soon have to go. I see the time. I'm talking so slowly. But yeah, Genesis by Brandon Rage. The first book is far down in the piles, and I don't have hands. This is the sequel to Nemesis, which is very much like, I cannot compare it with anything else than Maze Runner. You have these kids that are in a situation where they have no idea what's going on. I barely remember the first book, but I remember being a bit like engaged, and then I was like, this is just silly at this point. All these things they're going through. It's just silly in a way that like it's trying so hard to like be shocking in a way that, oh my god, they're trapped here because of that. They are like this because of that. And it's just like trying over the top of making it so complicated. But it's not really that complicated. And I'm just like, ugh, it annoyed me. And I remember I gave it like a 2 or a 3. I was actually surprised at the time because at that point I had hopes in life. But then I obviously wanted to complete the trilogy, and then I realized that I could borrow the second, but the third I cannot borrow as an ebook. I have to listen to the audio, or else I need to buy it, and that's not gonna happen. So now after I've listened to the call on, I'm gonna listen to the third in this, and I hate more than anything to listen to bad audiobooks, especially in books don't care for. I would rather listen to something new or like things I will actually enjoy. But now this is the way I need to go to complete this. I read Genesis yesterday. The plot twists were as odd as in the last one. We were doing a whole like, is that even a spoiler? It is maybe a spoiler actually, so I can't tell. But it was just not a good time. And it was so long. Why is these books 500 pages? Oh my god, the sequel to Ace of Spades as well by Amanda Foody were all like 500-600 pages. And I'm like, why are these books so long? And why they're not good at all. But yeah, I gave also Genesis a 1 star. So my average rating the last few days has been 1 stars. Honestly, 4 1 stars in a row except Dress Up Darling. Oh, I didn't give my rating for the call. My rating I would say is like a 2.5. I don't think it is a complete 3, so I rounded it down to a 2. But like 2.5 because like it's not as bad as these, but I wasn't enjoying myself, so there's that. What I'm starting today, I haven't decided yet, but I'm leaving now. So I need to kind of decide, but I am hopeful to read a book a day going forward. The pile is so small now. I want to finish it so we can start my other things, because now we've been here so long. And then I found other things that kind of I decided to unhaul, but now I want to read the sequels for that too, since I started with that, and have things in the other room that I have already unhauled that I want to complete. I wanted to talk more about like working full time, because I realized in my first vlog for July, I talked a lot about like how I feel starting a new job, and I feel like I was so negative. I was more just like, I have no time for anything, boo 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 boo, and I only edited half of that vlog, but I talked a lot about it, and then I don't think I mentioned it in the next 2 vlogs, which is like the second and third vlog for July of the 4. And I was just like, what? I never mentioned this again. I can't recall if I did, because I haven't edited those yet, obviously. The thing is, it's going much better now. I don't know why I was very overwhelmed, I think, starting a job, but like it hasn't been that bad. It's been very chill because of like it's been very quiet at work. And then now it's already picking up again, which is like it's like super busy, and then the time goes very fast, and then I'm done. And I have like started to go into the rhythm of starting 7, so I'm done like about 14:30, a bit after, because I started a bit over 7, because that's how the bus goes. And I kind of enjoy that, and I kind of hated waking up 6 a.m, but for me it's worth it to be done earlier, because I could wake up 1 hour later, and but then I would be done like 1 hour later, and I like to be done early. And then I come home, and then it was, I think at least in the second July vlog, I barely read, but that was because I was on one to game and didn't feel motivated to read at all. I felt a bit like burned out of everything that was happening. But I have now since really gotten into the reading again. I read over 50 books this month. I don't know why I was stressing so much. I finished loads of audio in a period of time and no like physical reading. But now I'm really back in it, I feel like. So I just needed like a, I think I had like a 1 week break, 5-day break of like actually physically reading. I read like 1 book in that time, and it really helped. And then I felt like I have space for that in my life to take breaks, but while I read a bit in my better read, etc. But yeah, work is going fine. I learned a lot. I met really nice people, and I'm getting into like the rhythm of it, and it's honestly not so bad that I thought it would be. Like it would take over my life. I have time for nothing again, but the weekends are completely free for me. So I read a lot then, and I get time to do things then. The only thing I've been struggling with is editing. To have time for that. But that was because I was gaming a lot in a certain period, because I didn't feel like reading, and then I didn't edit either. But now, like, if I finish my book, I can edit a bit. So see how I improve that going forward. I will definitely talk about it more, hopefully, when I remember. And now I should go, but it's been nice chatting a lot. I will keep you updated of what I'm going to read next, but now I'm going to take the bus. I'm going to listen to, not the call, but why can't I remember the title. Did I just say it? The invasion. That is what it's called, if I didn't say. But yeah, I'm 15% in. I believe that I can get this done. Let's go. Hello. So I became terrible updating this vlog. We are on the 2nd to last day of July, so this ends tomorrow. I just edited the first vlog of July. Very proud of that. I finally did it. I am intimidating sometimes of editing the vlogs. And I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Like, it is an ordinary reading vlog, but now I don't know how the second and third one is, obviously. I have some reading updates for you. Last thing you heard from me was that I read the second Brandon Rage to the Nemesis thing, and I read Genesis. Then the next day, which was yesterday, I did read Sandcastle Empire by Kyla Olson. This is another YA Dystopia, which is like, I didn't choose the YA Dystopia after one another, just kind of how it happened. And this is like, they survive in like this jungle-like place, and then they just have to survive, basically. I got this in an oak crate many years ago as well. I'm saying as well because I feel like we have had other subscription boxes in the piles before. We follow Eden, and she meets a group of people, and they're trying to survive. Like, I feel like parts of it could have been exciting and cool if I read it a couple of years ago. Now, for me, it was incredibly, like, generic, and nothing really, like, particularly stood out from it for me. Like, I wasn't interested in the characters or anything, which I feel like is what I now say for every review ever. I'm not doing it on purpose, but it's very much like, it doesn't have any uniqueness to it. I just feel like I read it before. I feel like things like this, I would easily, for example, watch as a movie, even though like a generic movie can be boring, but it's like, that is more entertaining with like acting and effects, and like, then you maybe feel the atmosphere more visually. Well, this one for me, just, it wasn't anything in it. And then there's obviously thrown in like a weird romance, not a weird one, but like, just like, I don't care about this romance either. I barely care about these people. I don't care if they get together or not. And I didn't care. However, I'm not saying that not another person could find this exciting. I definitely think that a certain age group, a certain person would do that. It's just for me, in this time of my life, I have grown out of it, and I definitely don't like feel an attachment towards this story, and I'm fine with getting rid of it. The nice thing is that I found out it is a standalone. I was scared that sequels would have been written since it came out in 2016 or something, and it's not. It is a standalone, and I was so happy because then I don't need to read more books. I then also finished the audio of the sequel to The Call, so that was the invention. I finished that today, and the audio in this, we just continue in this world where, you know, the kids are picked out. Not picked out, all the kids need to go through and survive the Sheeda, however we pronounce it, I forget every time. And now we have like the development of the world and the corruption in it that has developed. I guess that this was supposed to like round it out and be like somehow solve things in this world. And honestly, I don't really see how you did it in such a short amount of time. And I just like, I don't know. I feel like normally, as I said, I have been very engaged in audio, and what I've been listening to audio is where I'm engaged in a different way, and it just this was boring, and it was still boring. I was parts that was a bit exciting, and be like, how is she going to survive, etc. But overall, I just felt mad about it. I liked the first book a bit more because then, like, at least like the concept was a bit interesting to find out what is like, how does this world actually function. But if you're going to try to fix it, it needs to be a bit more substance for it to me, and I don't feel like we even fixed it, so I don't even know. But I didn't love it, and I gave it a 2. So I did with Sandcastle Empire. I didn't give these a 1 because like, I didn't hate them. I just really feel like it's the mood I am, and I'm old now. Then today, I did finish more. I did read Kids of Appetite by David Arnold. This was like another like YA contemporary author that went around and was pretty popular. I have read another one by the author, which was Mosquitoland. I thought I hadn't read it, and I borrowed it a little bit as well, and then I found out I already had. So it was just Kids of Appetite I hadn't read. This is like the height of YA contemporary, which is a genre that, again, questioning all the YA contemporary I own. But I think I'm too old for like quirky YA. The only thing I can read it from is, I think, from John Green, because for me, he's the king of quirky YA. And I read him in a time that where like, if he writes more quirky YA, I will be all for it. But I just feel like I'm not interested in other people's quirky YA, which seems really weird, but here we are. So we have a main character, and then she's in the police station. She's in the police station being investigated for this murder, and I will like go back like 8 days later to see what actually happened. And it's really about her dealing with her father's death, in a way. And I guess we're supposed to cry and be sad about it, but I was just like, yeah. It also like a main character also does have this Mobius syndrome, but I cannot speak for if this is accurate or not. But it's supposed to be like life and beautiful and being a teenager and like, oh, we are funny, but actually we are traumatized kind of story. And again, for a couple of years ago, maybe I would have sucked it up. But I do think I gave not Kids of Appetite, sorry. Now I'm mixing them up a lot. Mosquito Land, because I have it over there. I do believe I gave it a 3, so I didn't even love that. And I read that many years ago. I don't know if I will love this. I also remember seeing like people being like up and down with his books in general. And I know he has another book, but since it's not in actual series with these, I don't feel obligated to read it, because there was a time of my life, if I got one book by a author, I obligated myself to read all of their lists, no matter what. I need to stop doing that, honestly, but it's very easy for me, like, oh, I read another thing about this author, I need to read the rest. But obviously, I still do that if I enjoyed one thing about the author, obviously I want to read the rest, but if I feel like totally okay and mad about it, why would I? So I'm on this and Mosquito Land, which was in the piles because I thought I hadn't read it. Now I can actually read a manga. I'm gonna try for it to be Takopi's Original Sin, as I mentioned. That Erica got for me. We shall see if I read it today or not. I think Erica wanted to play some DBD, so we're going to do that. I also started my next audio, which is the last book in the Brandon Rake series. Brandon Rake, I don't even know how to say its name. This is Chrysalis, and this whole thing is like about these kids that are in this class, and then I can't even explain it, but it's an experiment, what is going on, what is real, etc. It's very much like in the veins of Maze Runner, if you want a comparison. And in this one, we think that we were finally gonna chill, and then obviously since it's a third book, we're not chilling, and things are playing out from there. I am personally like not invested. I'm listening to the audio because the ebook was not available to borrow. There's no way I'm buying it. I had to listen to it. I think I already said this. I can't even recall. And I'm just so bored. And listening to a boring audiobook is worse than eyeball reading a boring book, because then you can kind of, I don't even know. I think that's much easier because it's just like, oh, whatever in a way. And that goes much faster. But in audio, you can't speed it up, because, I mean, you can speed up an audio, but I already sped it up so much that I feel like I can't speed it up more, but I'm just so bored. It's very sad. Also, did I tell you yesterday I got my new phone from work, because work do my phone now, which is kind of nice because then I don't need to pay for it. But now I won't have a flip phone anymore, which is sad. I just wanted to say, in case you saw me with a different phone, I wondered if I just bought a new one again. How far did I get into the audio? I just want to see there. 48%, that is just today. I want to finish it tomorrow because that's before the month is over, and then like we have finished that trilogy within that month and all that, and I don't need to mention it in the next month's wrap-ups. I would try my best to finish it tomorrow and then read one more book tomorrow, at least one manga, and then the month is over. But yeah, that was all the updates. I'm gonna play a bit, but Dabadelet is uploading, and I'm uploading videos that is coming out today, so exciting. See you soon. Hello. So I just filmed my August TBR, which was great. This is the last day for the vlog. I finished a book which has disappeared. Found it. Which is If I Stay by Gail Foreman. This is like the movie with Chloe Grace Moretz as well. It does follow this girl that is in an accident with her whole family, and then you can see everyone like going to her bed, like she's like kind of a ghost, or like she's like a astral projection of herself, but because she can't do anything, and listen to them like saying how they want to obviously have her alive, etc. And like her family has died in this accident, so she doesn't really feel like coming back, which is understandable. And then they are like talking to her, etc. And then like we get like flashback with like the different parts of her family and what was going on in her life before the accident. It was actually surprisingly not as bad as I thought it would be. Like, it was touching. I understood like the dilemmas from the character. For example, she's like has this boyfriend. They had like actually a relationship that I can not necessarily like she's 17 and I'm like, ugh, 17, young love and all that. But at the same time, they were like very mature to like how they were together, etc. So I enjoyed that. And I thought that it touched me in a way because it was a lot about like family, and it was very sad of obviously of all this happened. I will obviously read a sequel where she went, which I was planning to try to read today, but it's not going to happen. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to read it tomorrow, which is the 1st of August. So it will be in my August vlog, and you won't see that until later. And like, I don't like splitting that up in that way, but that's just how it ended up. I kind of want to go watch the movie now. I feel like it would be touching, but I felt like it was very much about life, but then also a tragedy at the same time. I did enjoy it more, as I said, than I thought I would. I don't think I would keep it unless the second book blows me away, because I don't think I would need to reread it. But I'm glad I read it before like unhauling it, you know? Then I also have a little unboxing for you. So this I got sent from my favorite author from when I was a child. He writes a Norwegian fantasy series that I have talked about several times on my channel, but it's only Norwegian, so it's a bit like, not hard to talk about, but like other people can't read it unless they're Norwegian, and the books are kind of out of print, so you can get them in libraries or like maybe used, etc. Or like if a bookstore has leftover stock. And he had like this little giveaway on Instagram, so I got this. I'm going to talk more about it soon, and it will be in another vlog because obviously this ends today, but I'm still going to unbox it now, and I'm very excited, very excited. So, let's see. I already own this book, but now I have 2 copies. How do I even open this? That is actually a good question. Let's see. Okay. Here it is. I just want to see if I missed something. I did not. And it is, as you can see, Mørkets Barn, or The Dark Child. It is book 1 in the series, which is like, he calls it like the fan book from the series. It's like a sequel set 20 years later. And he included a map. I already have this, you know, obviously. I have it hung in my room, but he included a map of the world, which is actually one of my favorite worlds. Shall we show you? Ooh. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Love. So now I have 2 maps. Did we get this map with like the Kickstarter for this book? I can't recall. But I think it's very cool that I got this, because I have read it, obviously. It was a different vibe than the original series, but still big supporter of like the world and everything, obviously. But he has written a second book, and then I casually asked if he wanted to send me it, and he did. So I have the manuscript for the second book, which I am going to read. And obviously I want to talk about it in a vlog, etc. But I'm not going to go like in full depth, because obviously it is a script that's not like released yet. But I wanted to mention it now, and I feel like the coolest ever. But yeah, I think also he signed it. I love that. He said it to me. I always wanted to meet him and get all my other books by him signed, because obviously I have them all. But maybe that's my dream in the future. But very excited, and thank you so much. And now I'm excited. I want to reread this before reading that script. So that I should do in August. Yay! I look so squishy nice. It is like 50 minutes later than my bedtime, and I'm about to die. But I had to finish my stuff because this is the last day of this month of this vlog. I did finish Chrysalis, or whatever you pronounce it, by Brandon Rage. Actually, at the point of the book, it was a bit interesting. They came to this place. It's very much Maze Runner, as I mentioned before, but it's like more tests, these teens, and I don't know what's going on in a way, or is it tests, or what is real, and it's lots of different things. There was a point in this where I was like, this is a bit interesting, but then it just was more action and more pointlessness and more characters I didn't care for. And I know it was trying to be like plot twisty and cool, but I was just like, really? And then I rolled my eyes, and then I got annoyed because the ending was silly, and I gave it a 1 star. But I finished the trilogy, and I finished, what can I say, like, the whole thing. So now I can never need to think about it again. Can't believe I had to listen to audio, because that took longer than it should. Then, I need to talk fast, or like, not fast, but I need to sleep, honestly. But I need to say goodbye. So I did read Tokibi's Original Sin by Tyson 5. This was 2 volumes in one thing. And it does follow this like alien that comes from space, which is like, it looks like a little octopus. And then he is there to make and make character happy. And then she's very sad because she's being very bullied. And then she does try to kill herself. And then we go back in time and then fix it. But then there's more layers to the story. There's 3 different characters basically that all lonely in different ways. It goes very dark. There's a lot of like bullying and neglect from parents. And there was like a plot twist in this as well where I was a bit confused. I was like, what? I'm also very tired. So I was just like, what? But then I didn't understand it. I thought I would cry and be more upset, but it was still like twisty. But at the same time about like how everyone is miserable basically in different ways. And I'm not saying that things were justified, but there was definitely like reasons for why characters acted in the way they did. And it wasn't necessarily fixed, but this like alien creature is more like a child. Like they don't understand, for example, like that she's being bullied. It's more like, oh no, they are arguing and I need to help them to become friends again. It's very much like that, and it's very much just about wanting one of the characters to be happy and being like, I need to make her happy, like kind of in a cute way, but then with very dark themes. It was good though, and I very much enjoyed it, and it had a good twist and like a good story overall. And now I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna end this vlog, the last vlog for August. I don't know what has happened in this anymore. Leave a octopus emoji down below if you enjoyed this. In honor of the last manga. I should see me soon, new one. Good night.